Conservation Resource Studies, and I'm a freshman in the UC BSO.
My name is Josh. I'm actually not a student right now. I graduated in the class of 2023, and I was majoring in chemical engineering, and I'm playing the oboe in UC BSO.
My name is Erin. I'm a senior studying neuroscience and sociology, and I play the oboe.
My name is Kai. I am the librarian for UC BSO, and I've also been playing oboe and English horn in it for about 5 years now.
My name is Michael, and I've been playing oboe in UC BSO since 2019.
My name is Mito. I am a fourth-year undergraduate student majoring in physics, and I play the oboe.
I started playing the oboe in 6th grade, so in elementary school I had done choir and then the classic recorder class. But then in 6th grade I was just really drawn to a concert band and being in community with other musicians. And the conductor claimed that I had a flat chin, so when we were all picking our instruments and gravitating towards different ones, she said, you basically have the option of the oboe or the trumpet. And I said, okay. And so I just chose the oboe as like the first one that I was trying out. And so I took it home, I played a little bit, tried to get used to it. Mom was not happy about that. And then I just ended up gravitating towards it because I sensed that it was like kind of a unique instrument. So I didn't really try the trumpet, I just went with the oboe. And so that's how I started playing.
I love the oboe because I think there's something about its sound that speaks to our hearts directly, and it's incredibly expressive. It can play melodies that are poignant and wistful, as well as light, playful, and agile ones. And I think its range really mirrors the emotions that we are able to feel as human beings. And so I think playing the oboe gives me the ability to express myself in ways that words otherwise couldn't.
I really like playing the oboe because it seems to have a relationship with the natural world in a way, because most of the time it's made out of wood, sometimes plastic, but most of the time it's wood. And so even the top joint and the bottom joint can be made out of different types of wood and things like that. So in that way it responds to the natural environment, so it can respond to things like temperature or humidity in different ways. So I appreciate that about it, but also in that way it has a lot of different components to it. So you have the wood of the instrument responding to its environment. You also have the reeds, a whole different realm of things that could happen with them. So there's a lot of different aspects of the oboe and its components that you need to consider that each are pretty important to being able to play it. I kind of make an analogy to the organs in the body. Like most of them, if you don't have it, you don't really have a functioning body. So in that way, if something's going wrong, it's like a puzzle that you have to figure out. Like, could it be a leaky pad? Could it be a reed problem? So it just becomes kind of a fun puzzle in that way. So it's just a very fun instrument.
There's something that I can only gain from playing, classical music and being in the orchestra. Of course, there's the aspect of socializing and sharing that love of music with other people. But also, I think playing on stage, these big repertoires with everyone in the orchestra gives me space to feel like a lot of the emotions that I, don't really get to hold space for during my busy day-to-day life. And so it's very important for me to hold that space intentionally for myself.
So originally when I joined the UC BSO my freshman fall in 2019, as you all know, 2020 was COVID, so I took quite a long break from playing the oboe, but originally when I first joined, it really just felt natural. Growing up in high school and middle school, I was in youth orchestras and just like community orchestras, so it just seemed like a natural progression when I came into college. Following COVID, and I ended up taking a 4-year break from playing the oboe, and I never really thought that I would be back, but the reason why I decided to rejoin was actually one winter break. I was watching a K-drama on Netflix, and it was about just this person who was super passionate about music and making their dream of being a singer-songwriter come true, and just seeing that passion and that love of music from that actress really reminded me of how much I used to love music and how big a part it was of my life. So yeah, that really inspired me to come back. So I ended up rejoining in January of 2024, and yeah, I've been in it since.
So I actually did not grow up playing an instrument. I was in choir in high school and college, and it wasn't really until I was in college here that I discovered classical music. In fact, I used to go to UCBSO concerts long before I ever touched an oboe. But once I discovered all this repertoire like Mahler and Beethoven and so on, as a musician, I just decided that I really wanted to be able to perform that music. So I played saxophone for a couple of years in elementary school, and I just wanted to pick up where I left off with that. So I was looking into woodwinds, reed instruments. I played clarinet for a couple of years. That was great, but eventually I got curious about oboe. I went and rented one from a music store, and it just felt like the right fit for me. A lot of people, if you ask them about the comparison between those two, they'll say oboe is a harder instrument. I felt like it was easier, and I thought that was a sign that it was the right fit for me. And then shortly after that, I came and joined UCBSO. I had seen the orchestra so much in the past that I knew it would be a great group to play with.
My favorite memory was probably getting the opportunity to play bass oboe on the Piano Suites by Holst. It was a good eye-opening experience, but it was also like a good break from playing oboe. But yeah, overall pretty awesome.
My favorite thing about UCBSO is just hearing all of the effort we all put in just come together on the concert day. All of our individual hours of practicing just coalesce into the work of art that is the piece we present on stage. My favorite one is probably Shostakovich's Eighth, because that was, for me personally, hours and hours of work into one English horn solo that I think paid off really well. But just, it's hard to pick one. It's just every concert set is like that. Mahler is very, very good at leaving a great final impression, because you sit there for an hour and a half, and then the final movement is just this profound work of nature, and it leaves you feeling ways that few pieces, I think, are capable of. Just the way the melodies come together and the orchestration comes together. It's very worth sitting through the rest of the piece to get there. The rest of the piece is great too, don't get me wrong, but the final impression is like no other.
Yeah, honestly, I am not the best at remembering composers and their different characteristics, but at least for this piece that we're playing for this concert, Symphony No. 3, I think I really like the little playful moments and the different depictions of kind of natural, naturistic sounds. I think there's a part in the first movement that kind of sounds like we're prancing in a valley, and it's very playful, and I feel like you can really picture just this nature scene. I think the ability that this piece has to kind of have that sort of visionary and imaginative quality is really my favorite part of this piece.
So in addition to composers like Mahler, I also really love the opportunities we have to play music by new composers, living composers. We have one in this concert that's very fast and exciting by a local composer from Sacramento.
UCBSO will be performing Xu Yingli's The Phoenix Ascends.
And Mahler's Symphony No. 3 on May 8th.
And 9th at 8 p.m. in Hertz Hall.
We hope to see you there!